Right then, let's get cracking. Look, one of the things that annoys me the most, oh actually there we go, look, this big red LED you can see on the steering wheel. You can't see that in real life very well because it's kind of an infrared thing. That's your driver fatigue monitor. You may like that, I don't like it. As soon as you look left or right, the car starts binging and boing and telling you off. So let's turn that off. What I'm going to do, foot brake on, go into drive, over here, go into vehicle controls, and driving, driver assist actually, intelligent reminders, look, driver fatigue detection is on. Let's turn it off, read, digest, accept the safety measure, ka-chung. Right, that is now off. So I'm going to go now to my shortcuts, the vehicle controls actually. See, this is a problem. So many menus I find myself in, and I'm going to set my steering wheel button customization to drive setup. Okay, so look, I'm still in drive. I go into park, fit off the brake. Look, I'm going to put this back to home on the entertainment. So, right, let's try this. Got foot on the brake, down into drive. Here is the start button on the steering wheel. Press this bad boy. Now I get tap confirm. The settings that I had set in driving mode are now, remember, driver fatigue detection off. Bam, off we go with no bings and bongs when you decide to check if there's traffic coming from the left or the right. Okay, look, I'm going to go back into park and walk through some other bits and bobs quickly. Cup holders, they're way too close together and they really do only accept small cups. You ain't getting a water bottle in there. I've put a standard using of measurement in there. Look, that's just a bit of wiggle room. If you're going to have a water bottle, door pocket, space for it there. I like this little slot that I keep my pass for my work access door stuff in. Wireless phone charger bit there, big fan of that. I've purchased a little tray into this rather large box here that just makes it a little bit more useful for me. Probably can't see that in the dark. Alright, another steering wheel button thing that I like. Pressing the voice.
I'm here.
Close the sunroof.
Okay.
And then I press them again to make it go to sleep. While we're there as well, button here allows us to scroll through using the up and down buttons what's on the right hand side of the dashboard here. Personally, I like this one. I don't really mind though. Oh, let's play some music. My car isn't white, and I think this is the same in a lot of cars. I'd just like it to be that colour if they ever get there. Right, power and fuel. You'll notice battery power never goes below about 20% in whatever the default driving mode is. I think that's so it can always pull away in electric. Actually a little bit worried about the amount of petrol I put in. It's looking like it's going to be quite some time before it gets used, which I know I'm led to believe storing petrol is bad. Right, infotainment screen, 4G icon. You need that before the SIM. Well, that's when the SIM has been activated by Geely. You'll have trouble using the connected services until that's done. But I'm having to do this sort of cat-handed. There is Wi-Fi. You can turn it on. You can connect your Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's going to be worth it until there's a big software update. I leave it off because it means Android Auto wireless will work. You can't have both together. Mentioning Android Auto, you can connect your phone, if you're an Android user, to that USB socket at the bottom. I'm not an iPhone user, so I don't know much about how that works. My wife is, so I've put a button for CarPlay, they call it for Apple there. Android Auto is for me there. And yeah, you can customize those, like I think we mentioned earlier. Hold and press. Press and hold. Alright, talking of press and hold, spinny wheelie knob thing. In default mode, does media volume up and down. And if you press it and turn it, you would get temperature by normal, but I've set it to fan speed. And the way to customize that, press, hold, you get what you would like to customize it to. I'm generally okay with whatever temperature I've got set, but I sometimes want it to blast, so there's that. The sunroof button kind of moves in all sorts of different ways. Play with it, find out what it does, or go into vehicle controls and do whatever it is you want manually. And as we saw, you can do it voice control thing as well. HUD setup from shortcuts. We can move the heads-up display, which I don't think shows very well in a nighttime video on a phone. You can change it. That can be useful because in some seat positions for some heights of drivers, they may or may not be able to see it. I'm just looking around now. Maps app I actually quite like. It's pretty good. But one cool thing is that if I go into vehicle controls again and I find myself my sound settings, that if you play around with the settings that you have available in here, and I think this is set the way I want it now, the navigation voice commands come through little speakers in the headrest. That means that the rest of the occupants of the car aren't listening to the nice lady telling you to do whatever. On that, they also show up, the directions also show up on the heads-up display. One thing I have noticed though is that they don't show if you use the app called Waze, which is quite popular. The directions only show if I use Google Maps or the built-in Maps app, which I put a shortcut for here. That might vary by region or device, or I don't know, whatever. Look, what I'd really suggest is just sit and go through every single menu setting and have a look at what each of them do. Some of these are useful. Like, first thought, I couldn't work out why you'd want the tailgate not to different heights, and then look, I'm looking at putting a roof box on the roof for going away. I might not be able to have it far enough forward to have the power tailgate avoid hitting it, but look, I can adjust that. There's another option to power off. Alright, stuff I would go outside and show you, but it's getting quite late. Boot. Look, you can't fit a full spare tyre in there. Some people have paid $600-700 to stick a Space Saver one in there under the sort of lift up part of the floor. Personally, $600-700 to lug around 20 kilos forever? You got free roadside assist. Are you ever actually going to A, need it, or B, be able to undo, jack up and undo it? I don't see that, but that's not me. Matt's Mats, everyone seems to make a big thing about mats. I've got some that are dirty there. Yeah, they do all right for me. I'm just trying to think what else. Oh, question about charging. I charge off a standard small 10 amp granny charger, that's called. Yes, when you plug the charger in, the car knows and it won't let you drive off with it still attached, and you also won't be able to disconnect it unless you have unlocked the car, so that just stops someone unplugging you maliciously. Alright, I think that's it for things that I could talk about briefly this evening. Cheers.